The ancient pyramid conspiracy. You can find pyramids all over the world, from Egypt to Central and South America. It's parts of Asia. It's different cultures, different eras, same striking shape, right? Why the same? Maybe it's just parallel thinking, but there are a number of theorists who believe that it's because they all had the same designer. Aliens. Yeah, there's a new theory, new twist to that theory, because it turns out there might be a pyramid on Mars too. A mysterious three-sided pyramid spotted on the red planet is going viral right now. Even though, by the way, it was first discovered more than 2 decades ago. In 2001, a NASA researcher using the Mars Global Surveyor flagged this unusual formation, but now a documentary filmmaker has resurfaced the image, asking a simple question. Is there a natural geological process that could create something as precise as that, or was it created through artificial means? Now, the possibility of life on other planets is getting a lot of attention right now, especially from the White House, because the White House has quietly registered 2 new domains, alien.gov and aliens.gov. It comes just weeks after promises from Washington to release more information about UAPs, what many still call UFOs. As we ask the government, what are they going to reveal? Will there be any mention of the pyramid on Mars? I'm going to bring in somebody who knows more about Mars and the search for alien life better than anybody, maybe anybody on this planet. Dr. Pascal Lee is a planetary scientist at the SETI Institute, the chairman of the Mars Institute, and the director of the National Holiday Mars Project. Great titles. I wish I had one of those titles. All right. You tell me, when you look at that pyramid, or what looks like a pyramid, is there any geological process that could naturally make that? Or do you say that looks unusual, that looks like it's artificially made?
It doesn't look like something that's artificially made. I mean, as much as I would like to say, yes, that could be a pyramid made by somebody, some intelligent civilization. If you look carefully, the sides are not really rectilinear. There are curves to it. It's not really a perfect pyramid like the pyramids that are actually built by architects here on Earth.
Well, sloppy aliens, I don't know.
And then if you look more closely, there are rock layers that are very typical of the rock layers in this region that are sticking out off the sides of one side of this hill. So there are natural processes like glaciers, which have acted on Mars, like wind. If you have wind blowing at you for billions of years, you will end up being with a very nice polish on some of your hill surfaces. And so nothing to me screams anything close to alien civilization here when I see that. And in fact, there are many other features on Mars that are quite similar to this. Maybe not as, nicely finished as this one, but this is not an alien archaeological site.
I guess the bigger question is, now we're talking about something from 2001, we're 2026. Do you think it's possible Mars has life now, that it's ever had life? Is it more susceptible to having life right now?
Yeah, and I think when you say life, does it have life of its own, indigenous life? Because spacecraft from Earth are not fully sterilized, and so they do transport some microbes from the Earth. So in that sense, there's already Mars. But the sense is that the surface of Mars, when it's exposed to the elements of the surface of Mars, is too harsh for the chemistry that life needs. Life, as we understand it, of course, needs to keep going. And so I think that the chances of us finding life at the surface of Mars are close to 0 at this point.
Aren't you planning an exploration of Mars?
Yes. However, the underground of Mars, the subsurface of Mars, is an entirely different realm.
Okay.
It's shielded from radiation. It's shielded from the stark day-night temperature changes. It's shielded from micrometeorite bombardment, and it has liquid water in abundance. It has to, because Mars is a water-rich planet. It's just mostly frozen at the surface. But deeper down, when it gets warmer, it has to be liquid. And when you think about the fact that on Earth, 95% of the biomass, the entire mass made up of living creatures on Earth, is underground, actually. The chances of there being life underground on Mars, in my view, are not small. They're worth the search, worth the exploration. I think that's why we want to go to Mars.
And what's the status of that?
Well, the status of that is that, SpaceX, which is the company that's dedicated to going to Mars, is right now refocusing on making sure we get back to the moon quickly. But I see us going to Mars in the next 2-3 decades.
Okay.
And, this of course is never soon enough. But at the same time, I think it's a realistic prospect at this point, given all our advances in rocketry. And I'm also encouraged by our advances in robotics and AI.
Right.
And, we could see the first astronauts on Mars being actually humanoid robots as opposed to
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. This is the day and age when we might see it. Dr. Pascal Lee, wish we had a little bit more time, but thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.